The 2020s is a decade that is being called the exponential decade, or the decade of transformation. This is where the decade when our food and health systems will change immensely, and when the digital technologies underpinning Industry 4.0 will mature from experimentation into large-scale application. For most of us, 2020 and 2021 has brought a new understanding and appreciation of our health and food systems. As the world tackles the coronavirus crisis with the help of the best of the experts. As we get used to living with the restrictions that will help save lives, for many of us, it may feel as if time is currently standing still. But during all this unprecedented change, the energy transition marches on. This is a decade when pace of the energy transition will be set, when humanity succeeds or fails to deliver on the Sustainable Development Goals, and when the world either does or does not take the extraordinary steps to meet the Paris Agreement. However, when it comes to tackling the climate emergency, things are heading in the right direction. According to our latest edition of Energy Transition Outlook, renewable energy will provide almost 80% of the world's electricity by 2050, and an electric vehicle revolution will see 50% of all new cars sold in 2032 being electric. Our report also forecasts that the energy transition is affordable, with the world set to spend an even smaller share of GDP on energy, falling from 3.6% of GDP to 1.9% by 2050, driven, of course, by the plunging cost of renewables and other efficiencies, which allows for greater investment to accelerate the transition. I was asked what would the top 3 priorities be to kind of accelerate and aid the transition. Number 1, more than $5.5 trillion of annual investment needed for expansion and reinforcement of power grids by 2030. And of course, it includes ultra-high voltage transmission networks and extensive demand response solutions to balance the variable wind and solar power. Secondly, rapid and wide deployment of carbon capture, utilization, and storage installations. Third, and lastly, revisiting supply chain as developers continue to look for sustainable solutions that are both efficient and reliable.